Okay, so that shot that we just saw there worked out. It was a good shot. I want to make this video, though, for those of you who are struggling with hooking. And if you're struggling with hooking, you may also be struggling with occasional shots that just go right to right. I want to do this in a way so that if you do use a home simulator or you have a launch monitor, you can also look at the data that's on your screen and try to figure out what's going on. So on that last shot that we just hit, I'm going to replay it here real quick. So let's watch. You can see the shot started off a little to the right, curved back to the left. All right, so what we can know by that is when we're talking about our face, our club face, and our club path, if your ball starts to the right, well, that means your ball is going to launch off pretty much in the direction your club face is pointed. So that would mean my club face was right of the target when I hit the ball, which I'm sure it was. When you see the curvature, though, that gives you an idea of what's going on with the path. Okay, so that ball curved right to left. So that means my path was farther right than my club face was. So my face was actually close to the path. So you can tell that by looking at your golf shots. Now, when you also look at, we can talk about the data here a little bit, or we can talk about just in general what happens. That was an 8-iron, okay? So if we look at the actual numbers, my club path was 7.6 degrees in to out. So when I hit that ball, my club was traveling 7.6 degrees to the right of the target, or where I'm lined up. The face was closed 3.6 degrees to that path, which gave me that curvature. Now, when you looked at that shot, it didn't look like it was too extreme, but again, that was an 8-iron. The less loft you have on the club, the greater that ball would draw or hook. So when you look at the bottom here on the screen, or actually on the top left, it says spin axis negative 5.9. So that means that ball, when it was flying through the air, was spinning on an axis that was 5.9 degrees tilted to the left. All right? If that had been a 4-iron, that 5.9 degree tilt would have been a lot more, and the ball would have drawn or hooked a lot more. Had that been a driver, it would have hooked even more. So you may find this might be a better player especially. So if you're a better player, you probably know in your heart, right? We don't want to make swings like this, where our club plane is going left, giving us an out to in path, open face, which results in that big slice. And like for myself, when I first got really serious about golf, I had a lot of that going on. So I personally trained myself to feel like I was swinging the club out to the right. The problem, though, is as you keep trying to swing the club more and more into out, you start to literally swing your swing plane out to the right. So I'm going to grab this hula hoop. Right? So if we start to actually get our swing plane going out to the right like that, so my club shaft would be back here. This is that thing where people talk about they're getting stuck, where the club gets stuck and kind of trapped back behind them. And really the problem with this is, yeah, you can hit a lot of good 8-irons, but you'll have a lot of trouble because occasionally, as that club gets here and your hands are moving out towards the target, they're going towards the ball a little bit, and you can catch a hosel. The other problem is that you're going to have your face slightly closed to your path all the time to get a reasonably accurate shot. And as the clubs change length and the lofts change, it's hard to be consistent with that. Okay? So, what's the solution to this? How do we want to fix it? And what I would say is, if you've got one of these monitors, it's great. Notice on this last shot, you can see my angle of attack was down 2.6 degrees. Now, that's not a ton for an 8-iron. I usually would hit down a little bit more than that if I'm hitting it good. But if I'm swinging the club on a plane that is less this way and more this way, the club is going to hit the ball a little bit steeper as well. Okay? And literally, there are a lot of really good players who they actually get their swing plane their actual swing plane, when they hit the shot, is a little bit like this. Okay, and they don't actually literally come out to in with the ball, with the club on the ball. They don't literally do like this, but what they'll do is they come through and they get to that ball, their hips work to the, for a right-handed golfer, the hips work to the left and their hands work left, and as they hit that ball, the plane starts moving a little bit to the left. And because they catch the ball on the way down, the club head is actually relative to the target, going pretty much at the target. I hope that makes sense. So the more that you actually catch the ball on the way down, the more your actual swing path, your club path, will be to the right of your swing plane. All right? And this is really helpful to know. So, for example, if this is my swing plane, and I catch that ball way back here, like way back here in the swing plane, right? Well, my club is traveling to the right of where the low end of my swing is. Okay? So we want to keep that in mind, that as you start to swing the club a little more to the left overall, you're also going to hit down on the ball a little bit more. Okay? So how do we do anything about this? You know, that's really the question. So I think what's really hard about fixing a hook is that really a hook is just kind of an exaggeration of a pretty good golf swing, right? So when we make a good golf swing, you know, we're going to have the club kind of set in a nice place up off of our right shoulder, basically. We start our downswing with our lower body, which causes the club to shallow a little bit beneath the actual plane it's on. And if you overdo that, you're going to catch the ball with a path that's too much in to out. So one of the things that I found works for a lot of people is to think a little bit less about what you're trying to do, like with your path and your plane and all that stuff, and think more about the type of ball flight that you're trying to hit. So if I wanted to hit a shot where I could get the ball to spin to the right, I'd want to catch the ball with a swing kind of like this, where I'd be cutting across the ball, obviously. So I'm going to take a little tiny swing here. All right. So you can see on that little tiny swing, I got the path of the club was traveling out to in a little teeny bit, 1.4 degrees. My face was open to that path 4 degrees. And also notice that as I got the club moving more left, I hit down on the ball a lot more, down 7.7 degrees. All right, so these are like good things to know. So I'm going to try to make a little bit bigger swing and see if I can keep this going, where I'm getting the handle of the club moving left, trying to kind of cut that ball. That one hit on the toe. Okay, but you can see there, same thing. Out to in path, open club face. Right? Now you can see I'm hitting down on it a ton. Okay? If I didn't hit down on that as much, my path would have looked further to the left. So I'll try to make a little bit bigger swing. Same thing. Missed hit that one, but same idea. So what's happening is I'm not thinking too much about trying to put my club in a certain place. I'm just trying to get a feel for getting that ball to spin more to the right, which is going to have, I know the club's traveling left at impact with the face open to it. Now I'll try to hit the shot more like a normal swing, but I'm still going to exaggerate that idea of trying to get that ball to spin to the right. So again, face is open, 8 degrees, path out to in. And you can see in all these shots, I'm hitting down on the ball more. Okay, a little bit more. Now that one, I try to make a little bit bigger swing. And by the way, this video is made for somebody kind of like me. I like to swing in to out. So I felt like I really swung that club hard left, but you can see my path was actually in to out a little bit. My face was open though. So that was a little bit of a dead push. All right, so I'm going to try to get this handle of the club feeling like it's going more and more left as I come through. Again, a little bit in to out, even though I felt like it was way out to in. Now what you can do here though too, if you're using, say, GS Pro, look at my angle of attack. So I hit down 6.5 on that. So it's possible that I actually did get that plane going more left, but I hit down on a good amount, so that could have given me that 1 degree path in to out. All right? And what we're looking for probably is, you'd probably love to have if you're someone who's just pushing and hooking all day, you'd probably love to have your path actually still be a teeny bit in to out and your face be a teeny bit closed. So let's see if I can hit just a decent shot here. So I'm going to try to I'm actually going to just try to hit this thing straight. Now before I do that, why would I try to hit one straight? Well, what will happen, and I've seen it happen to people in a pretty short period of time, even though they're like a hooker, they're in to out, shut face all the time, if we get them for 15, 20 minutes feeling like they're doing this all the time, it starts to feel more normal to them. So I'm just going to try to hit a fairly straight, regular shot. I'm going to picture the ball going just straight at the target. Let's see what we get. Okay, so when I try to hit it dead straight there, I'm still in to out, right? No angle of attack. Face is a teeny bit open. Okay, so I'm going to try to go ahead and feel like, so to me, that's what straight feels like, right? I'm going to go ahead and try to get the club moving a little bit more left now. Feel is not real, so I'm going to try to swing the handle of the club a little bit to the left. So that felt solid. Face is just open. So this is really the process here. So yeah, if I'm an uncontrollable hooker, I got the face more open, right? So it was really the only problem on that swing was I didn't quite get my face a little teeny bit closed, right? So what I would do here, by the way, kind of caught between whether I want to hit more shots or talk up here, but what I would be doing here now is I would really try to work that path and that angle of attack about where that is. And when I feel pretty good about it, then I start to feel, hey, can I get that toe of the club to go ahead and pass the heel a little bit? I'd probably stick with working on this path right here. In a lot of cases, like when someone is really hooking, their path is just way, way into out. And sometimes it's the hardest thing to fix. So let's see if I can just cut across another one. That was open. Yeah. That was just not a good one. Sometimes it just doesn't work. So I actually got the path going out to in on that. Face a little bit open. So you can see what I'm doing here is I'm trying to go from somebody who every time is just swinging like this way and trying to get it more this way. Same thing. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So that last shot is a great example. I wish it happened all the time. I'm trying to get this club working left through impact, right? But you can see what I did there was I may have gotten to go into hair left on the swing plane, but I caught it on the way down 4 degrees. That's going to make my path be a little bit more to the right. And then I have my face ever so slightly closed. So that's going to be the type of shot that I would really be like working towards all the time. I'd love to see exactly those types of numbers happen. But this can happen to you. If you're a hooker, you may very well just be doing this all day, right? And just slinging that thing. And so by trying to get that ball to spin left to right, and remember we started with very, very small shots, in 15, 20 minutes, you can start to really change it and get your club face and your path under control. You're going to hit all your clubs straighter, and you should shoot much lower scores. I hope that helps. I'll see you next time.